Gunmen abduct 20 medical students in Benue State. Trail of destruction in the aftermath of massive flood in Kebbi State. Disabled individuals in Jos decry escalating economic hardship. On the foreign scene, 16 villagers killed in eastern Congo as conflict continues despite ceasefire. Hello and welcome to the News Hour tonight on Trust Television. I am Aisha Salihu. 20 medical students were kidnapped in Benue State, according to police authorities on Friday. The students were traveling to Enugu State through Otukpo local government area when they were ambushed by bandits. Police Public Relations Officer Suwese Anene confirmed that the students were en route to a program in Enugu when their convoy of 2 buses encountered the kidnappers around 5:30 p.m. on Thursday. This area has become increasingly notorious for kidnappings over the past 6 years. The federal highway from Otukpo through Ugbokolo in Okpoku local government area down to Odoba and Otukpa in Ogbadigbo local government area is known for its dangerous conditions due to kidnappers operating in the dense forests and ungoverned spaces. In a similar incident about 6 weeks ago, the management team of Benue State Polytechnic Ugbokolo, including the rector, was kidnapped on this same route. The region has seen several kidnapping incidents involving motorists and Catholic priests, with little progress in addressing the crisis. And now joining us via phone is Trust TV's Jimmy Azande to give us an update on the incident. Good evening, Jimmy Azande. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour tonight. Jimmy Azande, can you hear me? Jimmy Azande. We do hope he joins us soon. Away from that, the Kano Police Command has issued a public advisory expressing grave concern over a troubling rise in cases of culpable homicide and flood-related death within the state. In a statement from Commissioner of Police Salman Dogo Garba, conveyed through Public Relations Officer Abdullahi Haruna Kiyawa, the police highlighted a disturbing increase in incidents involving violence and drowning. These incidents include fatal fights, stabbings, and death resulting from floods which have left families and communities devastated. The advisory urges residents to exercise extreme caution and restraint in their daily interactions to help prevent such tragedies. The police are calling on parents and guardians to advise their children and wards about the dangers of violent behavior and its serious consequences. We'll circle back now to join Jimmy Azande to give us an update on the kidnapping incident in Benue State. Thank you so much for joining us, Jimmy Azande. Jimmy Azande, can you hear me?
Good evening.
Now, 20 medical students have been kidnapped in Benue State. What more information have we learned regarding this particular kidnap?
Yes, like you captured in your intro to this story, this whole thing happened yesterday. You know, Thursday yesterday in the evening around 5:30 p.m., like you said, as reported by the police. And, you know, I don't know, probably because the, victims are not from Benue State. No, we didn't get to hear of this until today, that the news started filtering in the morning until we got confirmation from the police this evening that, yes, something happened like this, and it was reported 6 p.m. yesterday. And the police say, yes, for now, they are on top of the situation, try to find out every available details. But like you said in the report, this is one area that is actually a big problem to the community. Otukpo happens to, be the Zone C part of Benue, and the road leading to, Enugu. Enugu is not too far from Otukpo. And there is one road that is quite dangerous, and of course, this is not the first time a case of this nature is happening. Over the past few months, I can say that not less than 4 of such incidences happen on that road. But probably the Benue community is always, abreast of it because it's always involving people from Benue. But this one is, students from University of Maiduguri, they said, and of course from University of Jos. So it's actually a situation. In fact, before I come on air, a few minutes ago, I spoke to the police if there was any update apart from what we heard earlier. And they say they are on top of the situation and they will continue to brief the press and the public as the investigation unfolds. Okay,
Jimmy Azande, you have stated that this is not the first time an incident like this is happening, and you have also said the police is saying they are on top of the situation. But how come, if this is not the first time, what measures did the police put in place prior to now, and this particular one happening just yesterday?
Yes, I asked that kind of question too, because I don't know, sometimes looks like it's some kind of guerrilla affair that you don't know the face or where it's coming from. Otherwise, if you travel through Benue, you discover a whole lot of security checkpoints. Some of them from Benue, some of them from Enugu as soon as you cross over to the other side, because it's a very busy road, one that leads, connects the north and south of this country. So some of the vehicles coming through Makurdi to go to Taraba, some coming to go to Kogi, and of course Abuja like that. So it's a very busy route, and I wonder why this kind of thing should be happening. But of course, like you heard in the story, the police said this unidentified, gunman actually laid an ambush. So what I don't know is if this was planned from somewhere or it was some kind of criminals around the Benue axis, but that's what the police are in a better position to investigate and let us know. But I tell you, if you travel to that route, you see a lot of police checkpoints. And this happening in the daytime is actually a cause for concern. Of course, one of the major problems we have in this country is insecurity. And this has also called to the fact that probably the security are not doing enough, to curtail some of these incidences.
Okay, all right. Thank you so much. We do hope that indeed the police is on top of the situation and a solution comes to the fore very soon. Thank you so much. There we had Jimmy Azande, a reporter from Benue State, joining us on the News Hour tonight. Thank you, Jimmy Azande.
Thank you for having me. Thank you.
Moving on to more stories. A severe downpour that began on Thursday night and persisted until Friday afternoon in Kebbi State has led to the collapse of a crucial bridge in Maiyama local government area. Local sources report that the bridge, which connected the villages of Mayalo, Sambawa, Gumbin Kure, Unguwar Shoaibu, and Gandiji, was washed away by flood waters due to the continuous rainfall. This bridge was a vital transportation link for these communities, and its collapse has significantly disrupted economic activities, social interactions, and access to essential services. A local government official confirmed that emergency rescue operations have been initiated. Authorities are also currently evacuating stranded and displaced residents and assessing the extent of the damage caused by the bridge's collapse. The affected communities are urgently calling on the government to expedite the repair and reconstruction of the bridge to restore connectivity and normalcy to their daily lives and economic activities. And now joining us virtually is Mohammed Shehu, who is a senior lecturer at Waziri Umaru Federal Polytechnic, Kebbi. Thank you so much for joining us on the News Hour tonight.
Thank you very much for.
I'd like to hear from you. What can you tell us about the impact of this flood disaster?
Well, the impact is immeasurable. The fact is that those communities are disconnected from the for economic activities. Mostly, you find those villages that were affected conduct their daily business in commercial sector of Jeddah. And unfortunately, you find out that they are part of main economic nerve of the area. So it has a very strong bearing on their lives as well as their well-being. So it is so unfortunate that that very important road that connects major cities of Kebbi State to those which are known for agricultural product is being affected. The movement is hampered by this particular flood that we experience today.
But in your opinion, what do you make of the government's response, in line with the scale of the humanitarian situation in the area at the moment?
Well, as it is always, whenever there is any form of disaster, a flood, a capsize, or whatever, the government swift into fast action. As I'm aware, the officials of the State Emergency Management Agency have visited the area, and then they were, as at the time of this report, they were compiling the serenity of the situation, the people involved, and I'm sure they're going to come to the rescue of those people immediately. Before then, the local government equally had to interfere and then come up with assistance or aids or emergency aids that are necessary, like evacuation of those that are affected, moving of those that the flood has taken out into government secondary schools in the area, so as to avoid further further disintegration or further problems as a result of the flood.
Well, I'd like to know, would you say perhaps there is lack of sufficient maintenance on the bridge that has led to this happening during the rainy season?
Well, not necessarily as a result of the road is motorable, the bridge is okay, but the problem is there are a lot of factors that leads to this kind of problem that we experienced. Even last week, there was this similar problem that happened in Argungu, where over 200 houses were destroyed by flood. Many people that live there were displaced. The issue here is there are measures that need to be taken to prevent this flooding of phenomenal flooding that occur year in, year out in Kebbi State, which I believe it has been neglected. For instance, the state government recently drained all the drainages, tried to clear and evacuate all the drainages within the state capital, as well as some other local government areas and as well as some other local areas. Now, the issue is there are a lot of things that need to be done, like building along the water channel is a serious problem that our people are being cautioned, are being warned that you are prone to this flooding, because when you block the area in question, there is what we call a very big river around that area that is being protected. I mean, buildings, infrastructures were being built on the channel of that water. Therefore, the water channel had to find its way, actual path. So therefore, it was what resulted. It's not an issue of maintenance. The road was motorable before the incidents. The bridge was okay before the incidents. It was just our own "I don't care" attitude of our people.
Okay, very indeed. The people have to do better regarding avoiding this similar occurrence of an incident in subsequent rainy seasons. Thank you so much. There we had Mohammed Shehu, who is a senior lecturer at Waziri Umaru Federal Polytechnic, Kebbi. Thanks for your insights on the news hour tonight.
Thank you very much.
Away from that, the people of Malori and Goskari community, where the portion of Kano-Maiduguri Highway in Bauchi State cut off by excessive flooding last week, have commended the temporary quick intervention by the state government and urged the federal government to provide permanent solution to their plight. They stated this shortly after the federal government's delegation visited the ravaging part of the road with their community leaders. Trustee Adamu Imam completes the report.
The Minister of Works, David Umahi, in company of the State Governor, Bala Mohammed, visited the scene to ascertain the level of devastation caused by the flood and sympathize with the immediate communities. Members of the community who witnessed the flooding after a heavy downpour narrate what they describe as terrible experience. When the governor came and saw the flooded area, we were happy and put a temporary intervention to make the road motorable, and he visited the place again with the minister. We are still appealing to him to support us to rebuild our houses demolished by the flood. The water has flooded everywhere in this place because the water moves from the right and cut off the side to the left of the road, and some communities nearby were shouting when they saw it coming towards their area. Only God help, it would have been more devastating than what we witness here. On his part, the Minister of Works, David Umahi, and the state governor, after inspection, says they were sent by the president to talk to the community and start work immediately because of the economic importance of the road to the country.
The president has taken quite divine and courageous decisions, but it may not be very much clear to the citizens, especially those who are not deeply exposed. And when you have somebody that is sick, the first thing you do is to give a first aid, and then begin to do tests to find out the problems. But the good thing is that the president, the Democrat, knows everything about the situation of the country. You cannot blame Mr. President for not blaming yourself as a governor, or you as a minister, or even the parliament, because it is all about leadership. And I am happy with the kind of inclusion that Mr. President is doing to recognize our leadership contribution to M&E and inspection, because roads are meant to serve.
The federal government delegation also visited part of Ningi-Kano Federal Highway, where the road cut off and floods destroy many farm communities. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
Farmers in Sokoto State are anticipating a bumper harvest of cereal grains this rainy season, following a challenging year marked by poor yields due to severe drought in parts of the country. Unlike last year, when the drought significantly affected their crops, farmers are now optimistic about a successful season, expecting an abundant yield of millet, beans, guinea corn, and groundnut by this season's end. Trust TV's Yusha Wadamu speaks with some farmers unfolding this report.
Farmers in Sokoto State have begun reaping the rewards of this year's harvest season, with the early signs promising to significant success. Some farmers who started harvesting millet last week are optimistic about a bumper crop by the season's end. Unlike last year, when drought and a high cost yielded only meager returns, those who have already begun harvesting are heading home with hundreds of bags of millet, a sign of a promising and fruitful farming season. This year there is improvement because we have sufficient rain. Last year by now, the season was caused by drought and therefore we did not get enough grains. But this year, as you can see, we are about to start harvesting millet. Yet, the rain is still dropping, virtually on a daily basis. Alhamdulillah. The promising start to this year's harvest season has boosted the hopes of farmers in Sokoto State as they look forward to similar success with other crops like groundnut, beans, and the guinea corn, which are yet to ripen. Many farmers are now anticipating a significant increase in their overall yield this year, confident that the favorable conditions will result in bountiful harvest across all their crops. We thank Almighty Allah. This year we have gotten enough millet compared to last year. Although we are faced with serious economic hardship, provided you have applied enough fertilizer, you will surely get a large quantity of millet this year because the rain is sufficient. We will start harvesting our millet in the next 2 weeks. Some farmers that harvested millet in some parts of the state had witnessed an increase of between 40 and 60% of their production compared to last year. There is difference between this year's farming season and last year. We thank God we have gotten enough rain this year, and therefore we are expecting a bumper harvest. From all indications, farmers will witness bumper harvest at the end of the farming season. This year, we are expecting to harvest more than what we had gotten in the last 1 or 2 years, and we are hoping that prices of foodstuff will drop in Sokoto this year. As a result, government at all levels are now expected to adopt strategies that will enhance the productivity of local farmers, aiming to alleviate the hardship faced by the common man. This call for action reflects the growing recognition of agriculture's role in driving economic development and improving the lives of the ordinary citizens. Yusho Adamu, Trust TV News, Sokoto.
Disabled persons in Jos, including the blind, physically challenged, paraplegic and amputees, have voiced their concerns over the worsening economic hardship that is severely impacting their lives. During an interaction with Trust TV on Friday, the affected individuals expressed how the recent nationwide protests in Plateau State have further compounded their struggles amidst the already difficult circumstances. The report.
These disabled individuals, who often gather around Jos Central Mosque after a day of begging, share their concerns over the nation's current economic hardship, which is having a profound impact on their lives. They reveal that the recent nationwide protest in Jos has worsened their challenges, with the week-long curfew in the state making it even harder for them to obtain food, further exacerbating their daily struggles. The high cost of living has indeed had a significant impact on our lives because we depend on other people to sustain our lives. To me, the hunger has affected almost 90% of Nigerians. During the protest, a curfew was imposed in Jos, and it wasn't easy for us during the period, considering that we have to beg every day before we get what we eat. The current economic hardship has also taken a toll on us. When the economy is already biting harder, the government-imposed curfew has added insult to injury. We couldn't go out to beg for food. We have found ourselves in a difficult situation. If we are able to get something from Good Samaritan, we manage to buy gari with it because we can no longer afford rice or flour. Lamenting the rising cost of living, the beggars expressed frustration that government at all levels has failed to include them in any form of palliatives. They said, despite their vulnerability, they feel overlooked and forgotten in the effort to alleviate the economic challenges facing the nation. We are not getting anything from the government. We do hear about palliative, but has not reached us. We depend on ordinary citizens to survive, no matter how small it is. But on the side of government, we are not seeing anything. Despite our desired need, we have not received any palliative from the government. As life becomes increasingly difficult, it is crucial that both the government and affluent individuals extend their support to us. We have repeatedly reached out to the government for assistance, but our pleas have been met with indifference. The beggars appeal to both the federal and state governments to recognize their rights as Nigerian citizens and provide the support they are entitled to. They emphasize that, like every other citizen, they deserve access to resources and assistance, urging the authorities to prioritize their welfare in policy decisions and palliative distributions. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And to politics, the Labour Party has rejected the new fees for the upcoming local government elections in Kaduna State, which are set at 2 million naira for chairmanship forms and 500,000 naira for councillor. The party has threatened to pursue legal action against the Kaduna State Independent Electoral Commission if the commission does not revert the fees to their previous amounts of 200,000 for chairmanship and 50,000 naira for councillorship. Trust TV's Bello Musa has more.
Addressing newsmen at the party's state office in Kaduna, the Labour Party chairman Awal Tofoki stated that the new fees set by the commission are unacceptable and appear to be an attempt to discourage opposition parties from participating in the local government elections.
Because initially, they said we are going to pay 200,000 for the chairmanship, then 50,000 for the councillorship. Suddenly, she changed. The chairperson changed from 50,000 to 2 million, from 50,000 to 500,000 for councillorship. We feel they want to discourage other parties from participating in the forthcoming local government election. So that we are not going to agree, we are not going to take it lightly.
The party also emphasized the need to have an independent electoral body for the local government elections.
The Supreme Court have ruled, and when they rule, we are saying that INEC should hasten up every procedure so that every state will have independent to run local government election. INEC, please wake up to your responsibility and do the needful for the masses.
Tafoki urged the state governor Obasani to intervene by calling Kasikom to order to avoid being accused of complicity.
Anybody contesting now is what he wants to serve Kaduna State. So it is Kaduna State issue. Why should some people be deprived of taking part in these democratic settings? So we are calling on the governor to, if he's not aware, he should be aware that if the fee is not revised, we have no option but to go to court and make sure it's stopped.
Labour Party Chairman Kaduna State Tafoki expressed lack of confidence in the Commission's ability to conduct free and fair local government elections, saying they are only giving the Commission the benefit of doubt. He further called on the federal government to allow the National Electoral Body INEC to take over the conduct of local government elections nationwide. Bello Musa, Trust TV News Kaduna.
Medical personnel in Jos, the Plateau State capital, are currently working to save the life of Honorable Christopher Audu, the Transition Implementation Committee chairman of Quran Pan local government area, who was allegedly assaulted by delegates during a primary election. Reports indicate that the election, held on Thursday, initially proceeded peacefully, but turned violent after Honorable Audu was declared the winner. According to an observer, Michael Bulus, the situation escalated when some delegates and PDP supporters who had been denied access to the election hall forced their way in and attacked the TIC chairman. Honorable Audu sustained serious injuries from the attack and was rushed out of BAP, the headquarters of Quran Pan local government area, to an undisclosed medical facility for treatment. In the chaos, officials of the Plateau State Independent Electoral Commission who were overseeing the election were also reportedly assaulted by the irate delegates. As of now, the party has not issued an official statement regarding the incident. Several shops have been affected as fire ravaged a 7-story building in Lagos. The incident happened on Sani Adewale Street in Lagos Island local government area of the state. Confirming the incident in a statement, the director of the Lagos State Fire and Rescue Service, Margaret Adeshoye, said firefighters from the Ebute 11, Sari and Lekki 1 stations were dispatched after receiving a distress call and arrived at the scene by 5:33 a.m. on Friday morning. She said the fire, which started around 5:17 a.m., caused panic in the area as residents scrambled for safety. Emergency officials were on ground to extinguish the blaze, which has already destroyed items valued at millions of naira. As of press time, no casualty has been recorded. And to more stories. Insufficient rainfall in Taraba State has impacted farming activities negatively, as most of the crops planted early this year are drying as a result of the drought. To address the situation, experts are not only advising farmers not to lose hope that there may be sufficient rainfall before the end of the season, but to also intensify efforts geared towards improving dry season farming. The report.
Taraba State is one of the states in the northeast of the Federation that usually encounters heavy rainfall during the rainy seasons, a situation many believe make the state an agrarian state. However, the situation this year is taking a different dimension following a drastic reduction in rainfall. Some farmers in Jalingo say the last rainfall in the city was witnessed on the 31st of July, while the day of news broadcast is 15th August. They said since the beginning of the month of August, which usually comes with regular rainfall till the end of the season, it was worrisome that up till now, no considerable rainfall has been witnessed in the state. According to them, crops planted early in the year like maize, rice, okra and groundnut among others were all dried, while the dams and rivers have no water due to the cessation of rainfall in the state.
To muna iya noma shinkafa, masara a nan wurare.
As farmers who are into rice and maize farming, our challenge right now is that we are experiencing lack of rainfall. Some of us can afford water engines, but some cannot. Today is about the third or fourth day I am irrigating this farm because without watering the rice in the absence of rain, all the grains will be damaged. The maize that is yet to mature can yield if the rain continues, but the matured one cannot yield any crop, even if the rain continues because it has already passed its period without sufficient water. The same goes for the rice. On the other hand, the security challenges is another factor because if you are not careful, they will steal your rice or maize when they begin to mature. I am a farmer. We are facing serious problems because most of us plant rice and maize, and all of a sudden rainfall just ceased for a long time and our crops are damaging. We are praying for God to bring rain in order for our crops to yield, because some of the crops can be harvested if the rain continues, but the matured maize and prematured rice cannot yield. This year, our plantation is suffering due to lack of rainfall. Even if you harvest at this point, you will get nothing out of it because it has exceeded its maturity period without rain. Like those maize that were planted early at my back, if the rain falls, they will yield. But those that are already grown will not yield anything even if the rain is continuing because they are already damaged. This year, if I don't get any engine, I don't think I will continue farming unless God help us and government support us. All what I have planted have gone due to shortage of rainfall. By now, I should have been selling okra worth 200,000 naira. But this year, up till now, I haven't sold anything worth 50,000 naira in the entire farm. The only good I'm expecting from the farm is sweet potatoes, because they still have some time to mature. An expert on agriculture and chairman Rice Farmers Association of Nigeria, Tanko Bobo Andami, recalled similar incidents between 1972 and 1973, stressing that a good farmer should always expect such occurrences and keep in mind that there may be drought or bumper harvest at any time. Tanko declared that the only thing that government can do to mitigate the situation is to restrict the activities of hoarders who hoard products in large quantities, only to stock and resell at a later period at exorbitant prices.
Every farmer is supposed to expect natural disaster every season. It may be drought, it may be flood, it may be insect invasion or other natural disaster. Since it is an external issue, it's not an internal issue, it's not an issue that a farmer can control, we resort to prayer.
The farmers in the state called on government to consider their situation and come to their aid for the betterment of agricultural activities in the state.
As part of activities to commemorate the 2024 International Youth Day, 100 youth in Jigawa State have embarked on a tree planting campaign aimed at mitigating the effects of climate change. Ali Rabiu Ali witnessed the events and now filed in the report.
The campaign, supported by UNICEF and led by the Jigawa State government, targeted the planting of 1,500 trees in semi-arid areas of northern Jigawa, where deforestation has severely affected the region. Speaking at the launch of the campaign, Governor Umar Namadi, who was represented by the Managing Director, Jigawa State Environmental Protection Agency, GISEPA, Engineer Sabo Muhammad, commended the youths for taking the lead in addressing environmental challenges in the state.
The issue of climate change is always here. The climate change is real. Climate change is real. So we have to ensure that we mitigate this climate change. We can only mitigate this climate change, among other things, by planting trees.
The program specialist, Water Sanitation and Hygiene WASH, UNICEF Field Office Kano, Dr. Ubalawan, who emphasized the importance of youth involvement in environmental conservation, said the youths have the energy, creativity, and passion to drive positive change. The youths have already planted 500 trees in Babura, with plans to plant an additional 500 trees each in Megatari and Suletankarkar. Core members among the youths participated in the tree planting in Suletankarkar local government area, where they commended the efforts of youths geared toward addressing environmental challenges by planting trees.
This planting exercise has to do with reduction of deforestation and then desertification, which is caused by persistent removal or cutting of trees. So the state government have decided that at least they will plant trees so that they will reduce the happenings of all these climate issues.
Today, being 15 of the month of August, is a day set aside for UNICEF for our youth to practice afforestation, to plant at least a tree. That is due to the climatic change we are facing across an area like this.
The tree planting campaign is a testament to the power of youth-led initiatives in addressing global challenges. As the world marks International Youth Day, the youths of Jigawa State are leading by example and inspiring others to take action. It has been Ali Rabiu Ali, Trust TV, from Jigawa.
Governor Madu Umaru Fintiri has launched the second phase of the Women Empowerment Grant, named the Fintiri Business Wallet, reaffirming his commitment to supporting women and youth for the benefit of the state. The event, held at Mahmoud Ribadu Square, saw thousands of beneficiaries in attendance. Additionally, the governor announced the distribution of 31 buses procured by the state government, primarily allocated to schools to alleviate transportation costs for students. Gibson Swadigo reports.
This disbursement, part of the second phase of the Fintiri Business Wallet, is one of the several social investment initiatives aimed at combating poverty. The governor highlighted that his administration has established the Ministry of Entrepreneurship to foster innovation, enhance skills, and nurture business owners at all levels.
In the past 5 years, we have not only been carefully strategic in our poverty alleviation and wealth creation drive, but methodically deliberate and purposeful. Through our skill development corridor, we have trained over 45,000 youths in various trades and provided them with starter packs to set up their own businesses.
In their remarks, Speaker of the State Assembly, Batia Wesley, and Commissioner for Entrepreneurship Development, Manjuba Gatugel, praised Governor Fintiri for his inclusive approach and comprehensive efforts throughout his over 5 years in office, ensuring that no one is left behind and no area is overlooked.
Apart from the infrastructural development we are doing across the state, in March this year, over 10,000 youths and women and people living with disability benefited from the same Fintiri Business Wallet, and today 10,000 women are benefiting. Today, mark yet another exciting moment in the economic landscape of Adamawa State. As beneficiaries who have been carefully selected from the various women group associations within the state will be empowered through Fintri business model.
During the same event, Governor Ahmed Fintri allocated 30 buses to higher learning institutions in various agencies. Gibson Soadgo, Trust TV News, Yola.
Welcome back and thanks for staying. It's time now to join Yusuf Akogu for the business news.
Welcome to Business News. I am Yusuf Akogu. Nigeria is on the verge of securing a $500 million loan from the World Bank, a significant financial boost aimed at addressing critical challenges in the country's education and healthcare sectors. This is according to the program information document for the appraisal stage of the Nigeria Human Capital Opportunities for Prosperity and Equity Governance Program. The proposed loan is intended to tackle long-standing staffing gaps and enhance the performance management of the basic education teachers and primary healthcare workers. The World Bank is expected to give its final approval for the loan on September 26 this year. The Securities and Exchange Commission, SEC, has said it is setting up a special unit and developing a mobile application to address the pressing issues of unclaimed dividends in the Nigeria's capital market, which stood at 250 billion naira as of March 2024. The Director General of SEC, Emomotimi Agama, revealed this during the Post-Capital Market Committee press briefing on Thursday as part of the Commission's broader strategy to safeguard investors' interest and enhance market confidence. Agama noted that while it was impossible to reduce unclaimed dividends to zero, the SEC is committed to ensuring that eligible investors can reclaim their funds with ease. Agama further stated that the Commission is leveraging technology by developing a mobile app that will grant investors real-time access to the amount of unclaimed dividends accrued to them and further simplify the process of reclaiming those funds. NGX closed the week in red as investors focus on ongoing public offer and right issue in the equities market. Let's see how it went down. Leading the losers today is Len Africa. Len Africa down 9.97% to close at 3 naira and 52 kobo per share. Of course, Cadbury Nigeria PLC also down 9.95% to close at 18 naira and 10 kobo per share. Of course, Nimet Insurance PLC also down as well, 9.17% to close at 1 naira and 98 kobo per share. Of course, this has kept the market well where it were yesterday. The market closed flat. Volume of trade at 384.95 million shares, valued at 7.46 billion naira. In a list of 7,677 did exchanges among investors this Friday, the last trading day for the week. Top trading equities in terms of volume, Jitco leader table there, 90.89 million shares traded. Wando PLC 30.37 million shares. Of course, Japan Gold 22.42 million shares. It traded at the close of business today. Some equities also recorded gains at the close of business today. Leading that table is Wando PLC 9.97%. It gained to close at 35 naira and 85 kobo per share. Of course, RT Briscoe also up as well, 9.68% to close at 1 naira and 70 kobo per share. Of course, Omatech also up there, 9.23% to close at 71 kobo per share there. And that's the highlight of stock trading as it went down this Friday, the last trading day for the week. Let's see the global stock market and exchange rate data for today. Finally, oil prices fall by more than $2 on Friday and were on track for a weekly decline after a string of dismal indicators for the July from China overshadowed geopolitical risk. At the London market, Brent crude sells for $79 per barrel. For the per basket, price steadies at $80 per barrel. And that's business. I am Yusuf Akobu.
Yusuf Akogo there with the business news. Now, away from that, a high-level delegation from Nordic countries, Sweden, Finland, Iceland, Norway and Denmark, arrived in Nigeria on Tuesday to strengthen ties and explore new areas of cooperation. The partnership aims to boost regional security, expand trade and investment, promote democracy and combat climate change, potentially benefiting millions of Nigerians. Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Yusuf Tugar highlighted that this collaboration could drive socio-economic progress, foster innovation and support sustainable development goals. The report.
Nigeria's relationship with the Nordic countries of Sweden, Norway, Finland, Iceland and Denmark has evolved over decades, marked by diplomatic exchanges, trade and strategic partnerships. These Nordic officials are in Nigeria to strengthen this enduring partnership. Here at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Nigeria's Foreign Minister is hosting this Nordic delegation. He believes this partnership is a crucial step towards achieving its development goals and enhancing global cooperation.
The 8-point agenda of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, as you can see, has quite a bit of overlap with the SDGs, which I know all the countries here present have been supporting strongly in terms of implementation. And of course, the good work that all the countries have been doing in the Lake Chad region is something that is not unnoticed by Nigeria, and it's something that we really appreciate and that we treasure.
A few hours after meeting Mr. Tugar, the Nordic delegation is hosting this press conference. Their collective expertise in renewable energy, sustainable infrastructure, and green technology is expected to support Nigeria's transition to a low-carbon economy and help mitigate the impacts of climate change. The partnership will also lead to increased trade and investment, creating jobs and stimulating economic growth in both regions.
We're also a steadfast ally in upholding international law and addressing global challenges, including climate change.
We also have good collaboration, sharing knowledge and capacity. So sending our people from the ministry or from the energy sector in Norway to come and work with counterparts here to share that knowledge and help build that sector in the renewable energy sector.
As Nigeria implements its renewed hope agenda, this partnership with the Nordic countries may well be the most crucial step towards achieving its development goals and enhancing global cooperation.
We'll take it away from Nigeria now. Clashes between local rebels and pro-government militias in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo killed 16 villagers on Thursday, a government official said. The latest violation of a ceasefire announced to help millions of displaced people in the region. The villagers were killed in Rutshuru territory, North Kivu province, during fighting between the M23 rebel group, which is believed to be backed by neighboring Rwanda, and local Wazalendo fighters who often fight alongside Congolese security forces, according to Isaac Kibira, an administrative official in Rutshuru. Let's now join Emmanuel Fashemi for the latest in sports.
Nigeria under-18 women's handball team hope to redeem their image when they take on African opposition Angola at the ongoing under-18 Women IHF World Handball Championship in Chuzhou, China, after 2 defeats. The team lost their first 2 games to Croatia and Montenegro in Group B of the tournament. According to coach Shitu Agbola, he said he is proud of the girls despite the defeats. Nigeria, who has scored 20 goals so far in the championship, will battle Angola, who has also suffered 2 defeats on Sunday in a must-win encounter. Nigeria, Angola, Egypt and Guinea are the 4 African countries representing Africa at the championship. The finals is bid for 25th August 2024. And that is sports. I am Emmanuel Fashemi.
And with that, we've come to the end of the News Hour tonight on Trust Television. Do not forget, you can always follow us across all of our social media platforms and also join our YouTube live stream for more news, programs, and documentary. I am Aisha Salihu. Thank you so much for watching. Have a good night.